This is a poem called The Shout. In the village in Yorkshire where I grew up, we had a really crazy science teacher and no equipment, which was a very bewildering combination. And one day he said to me and another boy, "I want you to go outside and don't come back into the school until you've measured the size of the human voice without equipment." So we went out there and we devised this little experiment. I stayed in the yard, in the schoolyard, while he started moving further and further and further away, shouting all the time. And we thought there would come a point where I could no longer hear him, and that would be the size of the human voice. Unfortunately, the village wasn't that big, and he just sort of fell off the edge into Lancashire. And it's at that point where the experiment breaks down that I try and get the poetry to rush in and fill the gap. The Shout. We went out into the schoolyard together, me and the boy whose name and face I don't remember. We were testing the range of the human voice. He had to shout for all he was worth. I had to raise an arm from across the divide to signal back that the sound had carried. He called from over the park. I lifted an arm. Out of bounds, he yelled from the end of the road, from the foot of the hill, from beyond the lookout post of Fretwell's farm. I lifted an arm. He vanished from sight, went on to be 20 years dead with a gunshot hole in the roof of his mouth in Western Australia. Boy with the name and face I don't remember, you can stop shouting now. I can still hear you. And for my final poem, this is a poem called The Christening. I am a sperm whale. I carry up to 2.5 tons of an oil-like fluid in my huge coffin-shaped head. I have a brain the size of a basketball, and on that basis alone, I'm entitled to my opinions. I am a sperm whale. When I breathe in, the oil in my head cools to a dense wax, and I nosedive into the depths. My song, available on audio cassette and compact disc, is a comfort to divorcees, astrologists, and those who have pitched the quavering canvas tent of their thoughts on the rim of the dark crater. The oil in my head is of huge commercial value and has been used by NASA, for even in the galactic emptiness of deep space, it does not freeze. I am attracted to the policies of the Green Party on paper. But once inside the voting booth, my hand is guided by an unseen force. Sometimes I vomit large chunks of ambergris. My brother, Jeff, owns a camping and outdoor clothing shop in the Lake District and is a recreational user of cannabis. Customers who bought books about me also bought Do Whales Have Belly Buttons by Melvin Berger and Street Maps of Cardiff. In many ways, I have seen it all. I keep no pets. Lying motionless on the surface, I am said to be logging and lobtailing when I turn and offer my great slow fluke to the horizon. Don't be taken in by the dolphins and their winning smiles. They are the pickpockets of the ocean, the gypsy children of the open waters, and they are laughing all the way to Atlantis. On the basis of finders keepers, I believe the Elgin marble should remain the property of the British Crown. I am my own God. Why shouldn't I be? The first people to open me up thought my head was full of sperm, but they were men and had lived without women for many weeks. And were far from home. Stuff comes blurting out. Thank you.